All right, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm out here once again to prophesy the downfall of this last heathen kingdom, okay? Babylon the Great, what y'all call this New World Order, okay? Most specifically, all right, this prison house, this mother of harlots, okay, that you call America, all right? Which right now is being dismantled and destroyed, okay, by a series of plagues that's going to culminate in nuclear fire, all right? Thus saith the Bible and thus saith the Lord, okay? First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, all right? Double honors to the elder apostles, okay? And peace and blessings, okay? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, Baruch Thumb, all right? To my Akim that's around these four corners, pushing this truth and sincerity, okay? Adhering to sound doctrine, all right? And teaching it to the people, okay? To the brothers, all right? And the sisters and the children that's learning, okay? And you adhering to the ways of the Lord and seeking to please him in righteousness, okay? Ahabwa Shalom, all right? You know? Man, it's a lot going on, man, okay? It's so much going on that's, you know, that we talked about all the way up to here, man. And it used to be a time when I could point back to that, man, you know? But we told you about the famine of the word, man, okay? So here it is. I done put up more than, what, like 850, 900 videos or whatnot. You know, it was a lot of work I did with the brother. And then he did a bunch of them on his own, man, where we had over 1,100 videos, man, okay? And understand, they all gone, man, okay? You know, and that truth ain't gone, all right? Everybody that sucked that up, man, everybody that committed it to their spirit, man, okay? All right? Had it written in their foreheads, man, all right? Understand it's gonna live on, okay? But as far as people's ability to access it, all right? Like I have seen happen to so many of my elders' channels, man, so many of my brothers' channels, man. It finally came around and it happened to me, you know? And I mean, who am I? You know what I'm saying? I'm just a lowly servant, bro, okay? The Lord gave me the ability to see what's going on in these scriptures, man. You know, so I come out and teach his people, man. You know, and that's what we doing, man. Still out here in Wichita, man. You know? And it's a trip because, what was it? It was Saturday, right? You had all these niggas out here celebrating the nationwide motherfucking observation of Juneteenth and all the rest of that bullshit, right? You know? Here it is that you still slaves, right? But you celebrating your freedom. Hold up, let me go ahead and get the scripture for that one, okay? Because these people, you know, they out of their goddamn minds, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Yeah, I will start with that. You know, and they talk to you about the Emancipation Proclamation, you know, and the elders went into this plenty of times, man. If you go into the actual Latin, it says to change hands, man, okay? You went out of the private hands of the Southern people, you know, into the hands of the federal government, man. You know, what's your slave number, your registration number? It's that tax identification number that you call a social security number, man. Okay? Right? Find out what happens when you stop working, when you stop slaving for these devils, when you stop following their rules, man. Okay? When you stop sending your children to their indoctrination institutions, okay? They will come get your ass, take your children, kick you out, and let you die. Okay? What's the logic? This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse number 17. It said that made the world as a wilderness, okay? And this is talking about Esau, okay? Edom, all right? You devils, all right? Red people to call yourself white. It says that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners, okay? So what did the Lord say? He said that these wicked sons of bitches, okay, was not going to open the house of their prisoners, man, okay? They never let you go, man. You never find freedom in this place, man. You find sellouts and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was a fan of Prince and his music, man, all right? But when it came down to the values that he promoted, the shit that he pushed, all right? All that occult nonsense, okay? all the immorality and everything else, man. You know what I'm saying? He did that to get paper, and it wasn't accidental. This nigga had whole rituals in his goddamn videos and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the definition of a sellout. But what did he say? Right? At the end of things, none of us are really free, right? Because even though they advertise to their minions, do as thou wilt, okay? That's not what you get, man. All right? They be working some of these artists so fucking hard that they be collapsing and shit. You know? People thinking they getting paid well, they'll put some trinkets on you, knowing full well that you're not gonna last but a flash in the pan. More than likely end up dead, and then they just turn around and get those same trinkets to the next dude in line to take your place. You know? But he said, who opened not the house of his prisoners, man. These people ain't let you go, okay? I grew up in a place where you could cross borders, where you could fly, you could do this, you could do that, without presenting anything but a passport. Then came the TSA, you know? Now they got the contact tracing, and you got to get the test, and you might have to show your vaccine passport in a minute, okay? The prison is just tightening, man, you know? Here it is, you niggas claim that the North fought against the South over slavery, but that's not what it was about. It was about the national debt and putting everybody into debt slavery, okay? It was 1965 when Juneteenth in Texas, because I come from Houston, right? It's just north of Galveston. My brother lives in Galveston, okay? When they found out that the Emancipation Proclamation had happened and that the war was ended, right? So-called. That's the reason for Juneteenth, okay? Now, at that time, there were still slaves in New Jersey, okay? New Jersey, just south of New York, all right? Fully in the north, okay? Wall Street, you want to talk about stocks and bonds, right? Stocks is something that you held prisoners in, right? Like the ones that they would ship to Australia and all kind of other places. And understand that a lot of them were our people, but they also had Irish people, they had these people and other people where our people were thought to be mixed in, okay? Or where they just had, you know, how you put it, that lower element of society, the criminal element. They would be in the stocks, right? The bonds, right? Were the bond men, okay? It's really quite simple. And that's what Wall Street was all about, buying and selling slaves. So you try and sell this bullshit about the North was the Crusaders for the South. It's horseshit, man, okay? That's not what happened, man. There were slaves fighting in both armies. Shit was stupid, man, you know? But these shows, it was no more intelligent, no more accurate than going to bomb Afghanistan because of what happened on September 11th, or going to bomb Iraq as if they had anything to do with it. And then trying to say they had weapons of mass destruction, and Bush still telling jokes about that shit, okay? Because why? These people liars, man, you know? The Lord said that the words of their mouth were smoother than butter, but it was warped in their hearts, okay? And that's why they'll tell you that they trying to help you and they end up hurting you, man, you know? You see how sugary and how poisonous the baby formula is, you know? You look at these toothpastes and shit. Pretty much anything that's directly made for kids, especially in low-income areas, right? Loaded up with poisons, man, right? And they do not relent, man, you know? Y'all want to know why the Lord got this judgment for you fucking heathen, man, okay? It's because of the wickedness that you executed when he gave you your rest, okay? Those that devise iniquity on their beds, man, all right? A lot of times people will say, oh, that goes to, you know, them before they go to sleep or while they're in the bed at night. But no, it's not about that. It's about at your rest. Here it is, you got $52 million, $5.2 billion. You on top of things, you running things, and yet you still have to go to wickedness, okay? You got the #1 team with the best recruits in the country, but you still trying to cheat and steal the other people's playbooks and shit. That's Esau, okay? Now hold up. Let me get a precept for that one. know, because these devils will take everything, bro. You can't have shit, you know? And they're doing it right now, man. I always told people, man, that this fiat situation was simply about being able to get to the point to where you got enough trust from the public to where you could print enough money out of nowhere. You didn't have to earn shit. You had to compete as shit, right? All you had to do is use the legal system to slow everybody else down and then print enough money to where you buy everything. And then it's yours, you know? People look at Bill Gates like he a genius. All you managed to do was steal from and usurp and take over everyone that competed with you, including the original idea from Microsoft, okay? These bunch of motherfuckers that made him rich, all right, those was the leftovers from Project Paperclip. The goddamn Nazis themselves, man, you know? And understand his initial funding came from Planned Parenthood and other assorted wickedness, all right? This nigga murders babies, bro. As a rule. He paralyzed 500,000 children in one whop and somehow managed to get his wicked ass vaccines back in there through this recent nonsense that they push, okay? To where now they over there dying again. And they already knew better, all right? But one thing I would like to say is that though the Lord has brought a grand delusion on a lot of people, because this is the great delusion, what they're saying right now about their rates of success with these inoculations is a complete exaggeration, all right? They don't have nearly that many people in any one of the countries that's claiming what they're saying as they say they are, right? This is Esau's shadow game, right? Because it makes the people that haven't done it yet feel like they're in a minority. It makes the people that went stupid and killed themselves feel like they're in a majority and empowers them to behave as such. And they're gonna let you go to your special little concerts. They're gonna let you go. You have only access to travel here or to go there. And eventually they're gonna create a two-tier society. And they're gonna solidify that with a certification process that begins with these passports and ends with that chip, okay? You know, it trips me out, man. The little girl be, it's June, because she heard that thing. Ain't no microchips. Well, yeah. People logging on to the internet with them. They interacting with their phones with them. They paying for this, that, and everything else with them. Accessing their business, their homes, locks everywhere, you know? You can see the system built up right in front of your face, okay? Let me get this Obadiah. All right, so this Obadiah, chapter 1, and verse number 4, okay? Just so we know what we're talking about, right? Because this is, matter of fact, I'm going to read from verse 1. He said, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom, okay? So Edom in the Hebrew is Adawan, okay? Meaning the red ones, all right? I was watching Goodbye Uncle Tom again, man. And it had been a few years, man. And I'm sure there was a few things that even though I absorbed them before, they was like rejected or set off to the peripheral of my subconscious or something, man, because that shit hits you fresh, man. You know? It renews and perfects your hatred, man. You know? The things that they did to our people, man. You know, my lady asked me, why did they paint the little boy silver and gold? Because the Lord calls us his silver and gold, man. You know? And to take he said that a man shall be as the gold of Ophir, right? So to take his precious gold, right, and treat it like that, you know, is an abomination. Now, I want you to keep in mind, right, that when you saw in that movie somebody being castrated, right, you saw these little dudes painted up with gold, meaning they was going to be sodomized their whole life. Understand, by definition, it tells you that that's not the elect of Israel, okay? The Lord did not put us in those particular positions. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that out before I continue. So, like, Keep that Obadiah, keep that Isaiah. All right? Because the bottom line is that the Lord had limits on what he was going to put his sons through, all right? And we may go through it hard enough to make y'all break, okay? But there's certain things he's not going to do to us, right? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse number 1. It says, he that is wounded in the stones or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, okay? So that's plain, right? The Lord said that he that is wounded in the stones, right, or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter into his congregation, okay? So, if you reverse that and you understand how to extrapolate, right, that tells you that the men of the Lord's congregation were not going to be wounded in the stones. You're not going to be castrated. You're not going to have your balls crushed with hammers like they used to do, okay? You're not going to have people trying to remove your shit with tongs like they did in that fucking movie, okay? Your privy member cut off, right? When you hear that Daniel was a eunuch, that Paul was a eunuch, they were fully equipped, so to speak, okay? The issue is that they had sworn off, right, that they were not going to deal with a woman, okay? And they could trust these Israelites around their wives as eunuchs, even though they still had their privy members. Why? Because amongst our people, adultery is punishable by death, okay? So a righteous man was not going to have anything to do with somebody else's wife. You don't see her. It's a part of somebody else, all right? So the Lord promised us, and that's a beautiful thing, okay, if you Israel, especially if you happen to be a man, okay, that you would not be wounded in the stones, nor have your privy member cut off, okay? So when you see that these things have happened, right, it only bolsters your confidence in the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because you know it's happening to somebody that was operating in wickedness, okay? And not to say I want to see anybody going through this, much less a Jake. But by the same token, right, it is a comfort to know that the worst shit is reserved for the worst people, okay? And it's a trip, right? Because the police, they didn't come right here. They went way over there where they could sit there and look at me, right? And as soon as I look over there and shit, you know what I'm saying, they want to call themselves pulling up a little bit, all right? They think they slick. It's stupid, okay? You know, we've been putting out videos from state to state, place to place, all right? For years upon years, man, all right? It's getting to the point where it ain't even about these, man, you know? People be like, what you be doing, man? I've been out here working, you know? You move from state to state, and then I took an out-of-state journey. Like, that shit take a lot out of you and the time. And I've been working heavy, you know, trying to get settled or whatnot. And you deal with certain situations, man. This dude, I was at the job the other day, and this dude called me boy 14 times while I was working over there. You know? Oh, Edomite. Fucking devil, you know? And people see the way that I speak out here, because I speak freely, okay? I'm serving the Lord in sincerity, all right? And I get to be a full Israelite for this time, all right? And so you see me in my natural, okay? But understand it's not wisdom to take that up to the job, okay? He said all things for me are lawful for me, but not convenient, okay? So while it may be convenient for me to tell the truth at any given time, I'm Salaki, lawful for me to tell the truth at any given time, right? I learned when I was 15 years old that you don't say shit to nobody, right? That's gonna stir up nothing at your place of work, at your school, or anywhere else, okay? And there's no getting around it, right? And the issue is, even if they're unrighteous, because the Lord said that he elevated the wicked. Matter of fact, Salaki, let me get that. And then brought that out in a second. Even though it's one of our foundations, right? I would say we done brought that shit out 1,000 times on this channel with the channel gone, okay? But it's Job 9:24. He said, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay? So the Lord said that he gave the earth into the hands of the wicked, man. Okay? That means from your Joe Bidens to your Putins to the Pope, okay? All the way on down to who's your local supervisor, manager, general manager, district manager, regional manager, so on and so forth, CEO, okay? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, okay? And the issue is, the Lord said, let all things be done decently in order, okay? And the rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. So as long as they're not asking you specifically to break one of his laws, and that's even accepting going to work on the Sabbath, right? We pretty much supposed to do what they say. The Lord put us in captivity, all right? You can read in the book of Jeremiah, where the Lord admonished men, and Jeremiah prophesied that they needed to go ahead and serve Babylon, or the Lord was not going to release them, okay? Because when the Lord put you in captivity, he meant for you to serve that captivity, okay? Now, this captivity is meant to serve us, all right? He said, seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation unto them that trouble you, okay? They got their rule, and they did it so unrighteously that they'll never be able to pay us back, okay? Because we're going to pay them back in righteousness, all right? Which means we're not kicking up a bill, not so much decreasing their bill, all right? Because they're going to continue to do wickedness, and they're going to continue kicking up a bill, all right? And that's just how it is. It's the perfection of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But it's also his grace and his mercy that he gave all these people their chance to rule, okay? So he said, Salaki, he said they would not open the house of their prisoners, man, okay? Because here it is, we went from that hardcore slavery, right, to where they'd have you sharecropping, right? Or they put you in debt and have you as a debt slave. Or after that, you know what I'm saying? And understand, when you watch Goodbye Uncle Tom, you notice that they had helicopters in these scenes, they had cars in these scenes. It didn't seem quite as old as they made it out to be, you know? You can't never necessarily trust Esau, right, in his stories, man, all right? But they ain't opening doors to them prisoners. Once they got through with that, man, right now they have a prison industrial complex where the land of the free has more prisoners per capita and in total than the next 5 nations in the world combined, okay? Millions upon millions of people in jail working for pennies on the dollar, all right? Slave force, okay? That's all they had to do. They make their little weird ass laws, they put Jake in jail, and once again, they got slavery at slave wages, you know? My daughter asked me the other day, she said, well, weren't the slaves working for free? Well, no, most of them had what were called slave wages. And some of them, very few, were able to take those slave wages and quote unquote buy their freedom, okay? But as was mentioned in that movie, once you bought your freedom, all you're doing is you have to go earn your money in the American system, which means that you have to sell your body, right, and your time for compensation, okay? Which again is slavery, right? People got it messed up, you know? Oh, I got to choose my job, so you got to choose what kind of slave you are. Fan-fucking-tastic, you know? I got my own house. You have slave quarters. Have you ever seen what the owner's quarters look like? You know? But it is what it is. It's a lot. Okay? Let me get this. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the book of Jeremiah. And it's chapter 5. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this in a different segment.